This is college football at its absolute best.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre, and Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
McGrath for the win. He got it. If you don't like college football and you watch this one, I'm not sure what your problem is.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, April 20th. It's a good time. It's a good time to be here. I don't know. It's kind of weird. There's not much to talk about, but there's also a lot to talk about.
What an intro, though. New intro.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it.
You killed it, dog.
Thank you. I'm pretty critical of my own work, so I'm not perfect, but I think it's improved. I like adding us into it. That first video will always get me hyped. The one of us at LSU. I got a good screen cap of it. I'll have to send it to you here in a minute. But yeah, great. I agree. That's some electric content right there. Our boy A-Dub is gonna love that.
He is. He is. I guess you got a friend to talk about real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You threw me off with the
I thought we were gonna get into everything, but I noticed that we still have to do an ad read.
Yeah. We
the new intro has thrown us both off. We had no clue what was going on.
I am going to tell you guys about our good friends over at Underdog. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectibles store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the University Commons Shopping Center next to Publix and Domino's to check them out. Open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember to always bet on the Underdog. I'm fired up. I love Underdog. And they're in my DMs. We're talking Topps baseball card break. It's happening. Time and date TBD. And I think we're going to work it out to where I'm going to be in store. So I'm fired up.
That's going to be awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Can I be there? I can be your lighting guy.
I hope you'll be there. I might just have you commentate.
You're going to show me the card and be like, who is this?
Yeah, 100%. I'm kind of just banking on getting a baseball player I'll know, which is probably like 1 in 1 million odds. So dicey for sure.
I feel like Topps. I feel like you're going to get people you know.
Yeah,
I think you'd be surprised of how many you will know.
Yeah, no, I think I'll know some, but undoubtedly I won't know at least one.
Yeah, you're going to get some bullpen guys that you've never heard of and probably can't pronounce their name, so good luck.
Yeah, unless they've been in some parody.
I think that's going to be the best part of it, is you trying to figure out how to say their name.
I may just mispronounce every name on purpose, so you'll have to figure out which one I actually don't know.
There you go. Okay, I like that.
I am excited for it, though. It's gonna be a ton of fun. Not a baseball guy, but a baseball guy. So. Yeah.
We were talking about LSU in the intro, and I actually have the cup from Fred still that I'm drinking
out of tonight. Rocks.
Oh,
I regret. I live with regret every day that I didn't buy that shirt from that girl. She was gonna give it to me, the Fred's button up, which is awesome.
I wish we would have known. You could go there in the morning and get free steak
and T-shirt, and they were gonna give us a T-shirt too, and they were just out. We ran up to a cool bartender and just kind of talking about what the game day environment is here, and he went and looked for a T-shirt for me. And was just going to give it to me, and they were just out. So that was unfortunate.
Yeah, they're out.
No button up. I did ask for the button up at first, and I will get my hands on a Fred's button up one day, eventually. Yep. That is my only goal in life right now. No, sorry, second goal, because I haven't done the Topps baseball card release. I know I'm kind of putting in my head that it's happening, but I got to do that first, then Fred's button up.
You're eventually going to be a huge baseball guy. By the end of this year, you'll probably be like a massive baseball guy.
Right, market.
You might be an insider by the time we get done.
Does baseball have insiders?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But Buster Only,
Yeah, there you go. Sure, I don't know.
Jeff Passan.
Dude, I gotta say that I thought the pitch clock was stupid. It has made games easier to watch on TV, MLB games. I don't think it's changed the college game that much for me, but MLB games for sure.
Well, it's definitely like shorten the games in college. So like I was talking about it with my wife, I'm like, she's like, yeah, it's tough during baseball season. You always have a game. And I understand that. But it's also been a lot better. Like I'm not getting home as late, like on midweek games. And
Right.
Now maybe it's hurt Tennessee because the way the season has unraveled. But it's been nice to get home a little bit earlier than I would if there was no pitch clock.
Yeah, for sure. See, it's definitely sped it up. I feel like in college baseball, there wasn't as much dead time between pitches. It didn't feel like it. I could be completely wrong. Someone may clock it and tell me I'm wrong. Whereas watching MLB games used to feel so slow. I didn't feel like if I went to the kitchen and got something, I didn't feel like I missed a thing. Like it was insane. So yeah, it feels like I could sit down and watch. Like I can flip through the channels and then I can watch a half inning or an inning and then flip. Whereas I feel like I'm used to flipping and I saw 2 pitches and was like, I've been here forever. Move on.
Yeah. So, but now the caveat of that is now like you can't even like go to the bathroom or you'll miss like an entire inning.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that's the beauty of it, man. You got to hustle. It's like football season. You just got to wait for that mid inning there.
Yeah, I try to pull it up on my phone before I go to the bathroom so I can watch it while I'm pissing and then come back.
That's a seasoned vet move. That's genius. Although you do get thrown off, especially with like YouTube. Whew. You can be on some crazy delays.
Yeah, it's very delayed, but at least I get to see what actually happened. I don't have to just hear the crowd and like put it together.
I kind of like that. I kind of like going into the troughs. Sorry, I almost said urinals. That is sacrilegious of me. The troughs at Neyland and guessing what happened based on the crowd reaction. It's kind of a fun game.
See, I only get up during I never get up during TV timeouts. I feel like I don't have enough time.
I bet I used the bathroom 3 times in Neyland.
Yeah.
During gameplay last season.
Wow.
No, probably total.
Total. Okay.
Probably, honestly. Probably.
Yeah, like I go before, like as soon as I get in the stadium, I piss. And then I will try like right at halftime.
Yeah. I didn't move from my seat against Alabama. And there's a lot of games where I would just go to the bathroom just to kind of reset my mental state.
Yeah.
In the past.
It's nice. I like going in the concourse when no one else is there, but that's a rarity. It's usually like you time it up perfectly with a timeout or something, and no one else is out there yet. It feels good.
Yeah, and then you're a little bit different than me. I've also not only got to time good sections of the game, I'm also in a position where I have to time good sections of like how easily can I get down there. Being not 46 rows up because that's from the bottom. Being like 20 or so rows up, and then tucked in a little bit. I have to have a clean gap before I can go. So it's a game, dude. It's challenging. It's stuff you got to think about. You can't go in there without a game plan.
Yeah. You have to be very strategic. We don't get enough credit for how like strategic we are in bathroom breaks, and
we didn't miss a national anthem this year. That's how fast cleanup time at tailgates didn't miss a national anthem this year.
Yeah.
And like it's not like a slow process. We are just all of a sudden time to clean up and we're go full tilt.
It takes like, I usually come around and will tell people, hey, we need to start cleaning up. And then I forget about it. And then somebody else will tell me, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was doing before I got stuck doing something else. And then you are the one that says it, but as soon as you tell me, I'm like, tables down. I don't care what's on them. Tables down, fold them up in the truck. Let's go. See, and then it's all chaos. And when it's all chaos, I kind of lose train of thought. Like I don't know what to do. So I just go for the chairs. I know how to do that. I don't need anybody else to help me do that.
Those don't even have bags. Our tailgate chairs don't even have bags.
I know. I just fold them up and put them in the car.
It is like it's an art form. The amount of stuff I get in that Forerunner, it's an art form. So like I kind of have to pack it. Like no one else can do it. You kind of have to know how it came out to put it back in. So I'm not mad about it because you want to pack it right. It is what it is. I'm just saying we have it down to a science. I don't miss national anthems. Hat off, standing in my seat. I'm not standing in my seat. You get it. And we sing loud, go America, and just wait for Tennessee has some of the best flyovers. So just wait for that killer flyover.
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, the true like give your all for Tennessee. We do that every Saturday.
Every single, even when there's not games, we
do.
Those Saturdays are big. I love this tangent show. We're gonna get right into basketball. Not basketball season, but big basketball news. There's actually, there's a lot of news obviously going on, but the specific one's pretty big. Vescovi coming back into the fold.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
We couldn't leave East Tennessee with that accent.
Give me that arm
got it. We got to bring it back, right? How many times did you do it this year? I don't remember.
Yeah. And we didn't shoot that well from three, so I'm thinking there might be some, I'm thinking that's what it was. More on bites equal more made baskets.
You don't think we shot from three better this year than last year? What was our
Is that a real question?
Well, I just percentage for the full year. Up until December, we were good behind three.
I think we're like 249 or something, 230 something in 3-point percentage.
That's how bad SEC play was. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, in 3-point percentage. So yeah, it wasn't good. If it was worse last year, I forgot about that. I'm glad I did.
Last year was very similar in terms of scoring droughts. It felt like we had you talked about it. We had to get a new team in here, which I know that lends away from Vescovi, but that's not exactly who you were talking about. Definitely not who I was talking about when we said new team. Time to get some new blood in here. But
without Vescovi, we would be dead last, 100%.
Yeah, and I don't think Vescovi's I'm not sitting here like, oh, he's one of the best guards since he has or anything. But as far as this team goes, and right now what we know about next year's team, he's your best 3-point shooter, and losing him would have been a tough hole to fill. Don't know if it was impossible because he wasn't excellent by any means, and then obviously had some troubles at the free throw line. The way he can shoot from 27 feet and beyond sometimes. Dude shooting from a different zip code, and he's Shaq at the free throw line is a little mind-boggling. But I do think it's huge to get him back, and it's also just another veteran, and I hope that means something.
Yeah, I think this is the best news. In terms of anybody coming back, this is definitely the best one possible. He was your best player last year, and no one. If you're denying that, I don't know what you actually watched, because he carried that offense, especially when Zakai went down. And he was playing some of his best basketball, and then he was still our best player, but it just seemed so forced because he literally had to carry us on his back.
Yeah.
And I think, a lot kind of went in his decision to come back, whether that be, just winning or his girlfriend or NIL or whatever. I'm sure a lot came into, but I'm sure losing last year the way that they did, it was a bad taste in his mouth, and I think he wanted to rewrite that.
Yeah, I think that's got to be a big part of it. Especially he's a guy who, without COVID, he would have seen his eligibility be up, but he also came in mid-year his first year, so he hasn't gotten a full taste of 4 years, and so I'm sure that kind of leaned into it. It doesn't feel like he's been here forever. Whereas some of the other guys that are at their graduation year.
We were actually at his first game. Do you remember that?
Yeah, thanks, Landon. I do. That LSU game. I do remember that.
But he was the only vividly.
That wasn't a good thing, but yeah, he was.
Yeah.
It made me feel worse, way worse. But I appreciate it.
Yeah.
33% this year. Shout out to Blake Stansberry. 33% this year, 36% last year. Blake, if you want to dive into from three, 33% this year, 36% last year.
Oh, as a team. Okay.
So we were, but yeah, as a team. So that kind of, I would like to see the December. I don't know, because going into SEC play, we thought this was going to be a better shooting team, and the bottom, I guess, just fell out. I don't know. We wasted it all early. Instead of getting it all out of the way in February, we did it in December. So maybe if we're moving backwards, I guess we are getting closer to March in a sense.
Yeah, I guess.
So there's a million ways to skin a cat. It's one of them. Just move in one direction.
I know the opposing defenders are pissed off that they have to follow around Vescovi for another year. I mean, that seems like the worst job possible.
Yeah, FAU did it pretty good, so I'm gonna just
damn Negaball. Are you even excited that he's coming back? I mean, would you rather Uros or Olivier come back?
No, I'm very excited. Vescovi. I defended him the other night. In a way, defended him. The person wasn't like hating on him, but yeah, I just it's one of those things. I mean, it's just true that he's not the end all be all for this team by any means. He's not.
But you feel
he's a benefit. He's a benefit.
Yeah. You feel a lot better because he is coming back
for sure. Yeah, but I just don't mean if he had left, I don't necessarily feel bad about this team. Is what I mean.
Oh, I kind of disagree. I would feel because I mean, like, yeah, you got some transfers. We're about to talk about them, and maybe they will be good, but I don't think like the transfers that Tennessee has gotten from mid-major programs have been absolute crap.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I feel better about Vescovi than I do the two transfers right now.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
100%. So don't misunderstand that I'm like, get out of here. Like,
well, I think you also get some leadership that I don't know if he's gone. Like, I feel like it's kind of like Tennessee baseball right now. They're like, who is it?
And see, maybe there is a ton of leadership on that team, and it's just it doesn't look the part. But I don't see it with any of the older guys right now. Like right now, your motor, the straw that stirs the drink, Sakai Ziegler. Like, that's the guy. That he's the leader on the team. He's the guy that Tennessee plays at the pace he plays at. And I know it's easy to say, oh, he's the point guard, but he's grabbing guys after plays. Like, he's one of the more level-headed guys. It seems to be in tense situations. He's knocking down. It seems like every time big shots comes his way. Like, that's just it's not Santiago Vescovi to me.
See, I kind of disagree. I think it is Vescovi, and I think Zakai as much as Vescovi, but I think both those two is what kept Tennessee afloat last year. I think when Zakai went down, when Zakai went down, it was bad, and it was kind of all eyes on Vescovi because that's all Tennessee had offensively. No one else could do any. I mean, you had Olivier go off against Duke. You knew after that he wasn't coming back and duplicating that. So it was just Vescovi, and Josiah didn't, show up in the NCAA tournament. So, it was just Santi. So I think it is huge for him to come back from a leadership standpoint because I think he is – and he has that clutch factor, even though I know it wasn't that way from the free throw line. But big shot after big shot, it was Vescovi this season.
I guess it's not his fault too. When I mentioned it, just felt like the big shots didn't fall because he did hit a lot of. I'm like I can't think of the right words to say it. He hit a lot of big shots. It just felt like they were rarely the thing that either turned it around for Tennessee or won the game for Tennessee. It was just, and it's a team thing for the most part. Like it is what it is in that sense, but and he couldn't do it himself, but it just felt like it was never enough with him for whatever reason. And I know that's not on him. He plays good defense. You mentioned it. He's one of the few guys on offense that moves off the ball all the time. Yeah. And so I think it's good for Tennessee.
Especially when Zakai is, he's probably not going to be 100% during that, those first couple.
Don't you? I mean, he's going to be full go for an exhibition game against Tusculum. 30 points. Mark
30 points. Actually, no. I mean, Tyree Key is, he's the exhibition king.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So maybe it's one of those transfers, and then maybe we'll never see him again after that.
I don't want to, for
That's
taking
all right.
bets, sure. But I mean, yeah, I don't. It wasn't. I didn't mean that in a negative way against Vescovi to say that I don't think he's the end all be all. And I will say of the guys returning, he's the best one I feel about that for sure by a wide margin.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think if somehow Josiah Jordan-James comes back, is it May? So a little over a month or less than a month away when they have to make their final decision.
Yeah, they're going to go through the NBA draft process, so they probably won't make any decision until they go through that.
Right. But it's a deadline's coming up, isn't it? It's relatively soon.
Yeah, it's probably a month or something. That sounds right.
Yeah.
But I just don't. So going into that a little bit, I mean, I understand Josiah. Like, you served your time. Like, I get it if he doesn't return.
Yeah.
I think he can go. I think he can just go like overseas and play. I mean, maybe he finds some G League spot and then goes overseas. But Julian's is one where it's so weird, and people can kind of compare it to the Kenny Chandler, where he's like, oh, he made so much money in the second round. But Kennedy, I didn't think would go that much higher in any other draft. If he came back for another year, I don't know if he goes much higher the next year. Julian Phillips, I feel like he has the size and athleticism to be a lottery pick, maybe.
I mean, that's a big jump of improvement for sure.
Oh, I agree, but I think there's money to be made if you come back and show you're improving.
I don't disagree with the premise of Kennedy's biggest knock was his size, and
he wasn't
that's not going to change.
Yeah,
and that's why he didn't get picked as high as he probably would have if he's 3 inches taller, a little bit longer.
Right.
Whereas, and I think that's probably what's going to get Julian a good draft grade is that he has the quote unquote NBA size. Like that's the frame they want. And so again, I still agree. I agree with you that means like there's probably money left on the table still, but he's going to get a probably better grade than he is foreseen right now just because of that, I think. Not just because of that, but that being one of the reasons.
Yeah. I mean, if you're getting a second round grade, I feel like I know, again, there's money to be made, and you're probably going to make more money in the second round than you would in NIL in college. I get it.
Come find out, baby. Let's see.
Yeah, but if you really think like you could be a draft prospect, like a high-end draft prospect, you absolutely should come back.
I mean,
I think getting some of these transfers, especially if they land the Northern Colorado kid, I think they're assuming he's not coming back.
Right. And that assumption may already, I don't know. That assumption may already be there. I think there's a lot of, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of things that go into that decision more so than maybe just the player, but I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens with them. I mean, I wouldn't hate if either of them came back either. I think they'd both be good for this team next year as well. Again, not an end-all, be-all for me, similar to Vescovi, but I think it would be a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I definitely think there's money to be made if he came back, but if he doesn't, whatever. I mean, it's going to
personally pay your NIL.
Yeah, it's going to be a completely different team anyway. In terms of looks and, roles and different stuff like that. I know we had a question about that, and I guess I want to get to part of it because part of it is a baseball question, so we'll wait. Ethan Cundiff says, with new transfers, Santi staying, ideal starting 5.
Oh. Ideal starting 5. Are we including Zakai in this, or are we waiting? Is he technically?
Yeah, let's go like your best 5. He's healthy. Yeah, he's healthy.
Zakai. I mean, it's got to be Vescovi at the 2.
We'll go Julian and Josiah are not coming back.
Okay. God, there's just so many unknowns and so many guys I think got to make improvements. It's Jonas at the 5, though. I think that's undeniable. Where are you at on those three positions? Because those three I'm sure of. Where are you?
Dude, I mean, yeah, I think Jonas is at the 5. I would have a hard time saying Tobe Awaka is not starting.
So I guess it's for me. I know so much about two of the guys that I want to put the 4 and the 3, but I also think there's room that they could maybe not be starters. Not to say they won't play, but Jemai Meshack, I think everything tells me, like what I saw late in the season, he's a guy that, I mean, I don't know where Tennessee's at if he doesn't step up when Zakai goes down. I really don't. And maybe BJ Edwards gets more time and finds a role and is good, but I think his improvement just in the last 2 months, month and a half was pretty massive. So, I mean, I think he's got to be in that starting 5 right now, but I also just I kind of hope the guys behind him, not a knock on Jemai. He's just got a long way to go in his offensive game. Like, my hope is that maybe someone gives us more offensive than he does defensive, hopefully.
Yeah. I guess we're assuming Urosh isn't coming back and Olivier isn't coming back either.
I'm worried about Urosh.
I don't think he'd be welcome back.
Move on. Go on.
Yeah.
Next. I think it's Adu at the 5, regardless. It's got to be.
I think it's Tobe, and I think if depending on matchup, yeah, you could go Jemai at the 3, but you can also probably go Chris Ledlam.
I think that's the guy that, again, that's that offensive question I have. Like, can his offense be good enough? Because Jemai's going to get the lean right now, being so sound defensively.
Yeah. And he's much improved offensively.
I need him to score 18 points a game. Desperately. Is the Ivy League as good as the SEC?
I want to tweet it so bad when we announced today that Tennessee was doing a home-and-home with Wisconsin. I'm like, oh, are we just going to see how low we can keep the score?
I think we should see who can score less, their football offense or our basketball offense. Could get interesting.
Because they're another really slow team too. So
if we played quarters, it would be awfully close. The first quarter over or first quarter, first quarter over under would be very close.
It might be like a high school girls basketball score at the end of it.
I think, I mean, a lot of people seem to like Chris Ledlam. I don't know if that's just now that he's wearing the,
orange color.
Yeah. I don't know if that, 18 points a game is impressive, but let's not forget it is the Ivy League. And I know what you're saying, Caleb. Look at Princeton. Come on. Are you an idiot? And yes, I am, but let's not pretend it's exactly the same.
Yeah. Cause you also got to take into account EJ Anasicki didn't translate. I think James Daniel was the leading scorer in the NCAA and he averaged 3 points a game. Tyreek Key averaged 20 at Indiana State, and I don't understand that one. That's one I will never understand, how we saw him just light it up against Gonzaga.
Yeah, and a lot of people have some weird speculations. It seemed to me like Rick green-lighted him the whole season.
Yeah.
So I will never make sense of it. I don't even try.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got some transfers. Let's get into them since we're already kind of talking about Chris Ledlam. He's the forward from Harvard, average 18.8 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, first team Ivy League selection, and a what do you call that? Academic All-American. Yeah.
Sure.
Smart guy.
Are they graded on are they on a different curve than the rest of the country? Because I just feel like a lot of those Harvard, Princeton, Dartmouth.
Yeah, I feel like you should if you pass, you should be an academic All-American.
I love the videos of the Princeton guys doing homework on during the NCAA tournament. Yes, probably fairly unusual. I'm sure there's homework being done. I just sometimes question if it's the starting forward.
Or, who's doing the homework?
At Missouri. Yeah, no, specifically who's doing the homework. So,
So, and he played Kansas this year. So, I mean, people want to know, like, how does that translate? He did score 17, had 9 rebounds against Kansas. I know the field goal percentage wasn't fantastic, but it was against Kansas. So, I'm sure he had a ton of help at Harvard scoring against Kansas.
Hate on Harvard, dude. What are you doing?
But you needed to add a guy that, and I don't know if you watch his highlights, and again, you got to take it with a grain of salt because it is highlights, but he can drive to the basket. He can go down low. He can body somebody. He's kind of got that, dare I say, Grant Williams body. But I mean, that's what he reminds you of when he gets the ball down low. He can shoot them some threes. I think he shot around 30% from three, which isn't great, but I mean, for a big guy, I guess you want to prove that you can knock some of those down. And he can get at the top of the key and drive to the basket. Now, again, it's got to translate to better competition, but I do think this is something that Tennessee needed, a guy that can score offensively down low and a guy that can grab rebounds.
Yeah, like you said, you mentioned kind of that Grant Williams body. I mean, the thing that stood out to me initially was his length. Well, first 18 points per game. Fired me right up.
Yeah.
Second was he looks lengthy, and I mean, I know he's forward, kind of expected, but I think that's huge for this team. First off, I mean, they just want to play good defensive basketball, and length helps. So,
yeah.
Here's to hoping it translates.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. Then you added Jordan Gainey. I keep wanting to call him Justin, but Justin is Tennessee's assistant coach. He's a guard from USC Upstate. Actually played Tennessee his freshman year. Didn't have a fantastic day, but Tennessee's defense. And I guess when you're coaching against your dad, he kind of knows your weaknesses. So I'm sure that didn't help his case. But 15.2 points per game this season. Shot over 40% in his career in his 2 years at USC Upstate. So that's what stuck out to me. 40%. Hey, when you're that bad at shooting, what did Blake say? 33%? Sign me up.
Let's try it. And it can't hurt.
Yeah.
It can't hurt.
And he scored 13 against South Carolina this year and 24 against Clemson. So I think you desperately
two outstanding teams this year. So that's good.
Yeah, it is Power 5 though. Damn it, Caleb.
Good point, dude. I mean, I'm here to poke holes. That's what I'm here to do.
Your negative energy is killing me.
I'm sorry. I did nothing.
You're Johnson City. Are you mad about something?
I did nothing but cheer Tuesday night, so I don't want to hear it.
God, that made one of us. Jesus.
Landon retreated. Troy, I'm trying to think of his ad on Twitter. He always goes to the concourse, but Landon just retreated back to the football stadium. I mean, did not hold the line at all.
I need to go back.
Got to the bunker.
I need that happiness, man. That's I'm relying on you to give me some, and you're not giving it back to me.
I cannot provide the happiness you seek, my friend.
Well, I mean, I went to the Vol sign, and you got it right behind you.
Yeah, I mean the Vol. I thought that's what you meant. I didn't think you meant the stadium in general. Every time I drive downtown, I marvel. One day I'm going to drive off Henley Street Bridge, and what happened? He got it. Sue Allen sign, all right?
No, yeah, for sure.
Don't sue Allen sign.
No.
Don't. I will haunt you from my grave at the bottom of the Tennessee River with the goalpost. Oh, I'll be impaled by the goalpost.
That'd be a sick way to die.
Don't disagree.
Yeah, there was contemplating jumping off something on Tuesday night. That was not great at all.
That's good. I mean, Lindsey Nelson isn't large enough just quite yet for that to be an issue. Whereas someone like me, if I had season tickets at the top of the stadium, I think they'd have to build the soccer style cage, but instead of around the field, they have to build it around the top of the stadium.
Yeah, it'd probably be worse. It would just like break your legs, like paralyze you. You wouldn't actually die if you jumped off Lindsey Nelson.
I don't even know if you'd be paralyzed because that might be an ups. Like at least, something bad happened. I think you would just be in the hospital with 2 broken legs and people would look at you like you're an idiot. They might feel bad for you if you're paralyzed and not if you have 2 broken legs.
Yeah, you can't do a GoFundMe for broken legs.
Yeah, what kind of insurance this guy has? Can't pay for 2 broken legs?
Yeah. There's no GoFundMes for that. You got to make it worth it. NCAA hearing.
Yeah, we know a lot of information about that, so that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really. I mean, I guess we're talking about it just because I think it's hilarious to think about what they're actually talking about in there. Because I mean, this went on for like 10 hours today. So you think they were just like I picture they're in this big room with all these tables, and they're just
You're on the right track.
and they're just talking about how stupid Jeremy Pruitt looks for all the infractions and his staff committed. And on top of that, they're looking at his record and be like, and you still didn't win.
Do you think they've mentioned his record yet?
I hope so. I love that Casey Pruitt is taking a lot of this too.
She's a ride or die. Like, respect, nothing but the utmost respect for Casey Pruitt. Jeremy, on the other hand, Casey, though, that is a ride or die girl, and I applaud her. Absolutely applaud her.
Yeah.
Following Adam Sparks of the New Sentinel's been fun. Him and Brent Hubbs, I don't know if anybody else is there. They're just sitting outside because no one's allowed in, and also no one's allowed to discuss it because there's a gag order. So it's just funny to me that there's 2 reporters there covering it. And apparently there was some food swiped off the Tennessee snack table. I hope they're getting better lunches up there. I hope Tennessee isn't making them eat finger foods for lunch after having to sit and listen to Jeremy Pruitt say
is feeding the NCAA members, is that a bribe? Are we committing new infractions right
I'm just going to
NCAA
safely assume that everyone on that committee is a scumbag.
Yeah.
One of them's a former Attorney General of the United States, verified scumbag. So I don't know anything about him. I just assume if you got to that position of power, you're probably a scumbag.
Attorney General sounds so much cooler than it actually is. It sounds like you served in the military.
It does have general in it. You're absolutely right. There's some interesting cats on here. So I looked at their page, tried to get a rule on this infractions committee, tried to get a feel for what's coming. In the words of my good friends Chadwell Mitchell, this is the biggest group of nerds I've ever seen, and they don't look like they're gonna favor Tennessee at all. I get that feeling. Other than Bobby Crimmins, who is the head basketball coach at App State, Georgia Tech, and College of Charleston, he kind of looks like a guy's guy.
He's the head coach there of all 3.
No, he did coach there. I mean, maybe might have.
I mean,
he's not even serving anymore. I knew it. I knew. Only cool guy.
I knew he didn't serve in the military. He didn't have
only
general
cool guy
name.
we had is done, and that's not good news for Tennessee. But yeah, just a bunch of nerds sitting in there listening and asking probably the dumbest questions of all time. I've seen U.S. Senate hearings. I got to imagine this is somehow dumber.
Well, if you're saying they're a bunch of nerds, Pruitt definitely has to have like some interpreter in there.
Yeah, he can't. He can't
He
understand this at all. He doesn't know what's going on. He's just trying to get back to Alabama to coach, and I can't blame him.
How many times have you used the phrase, I don't know how much you know about football?
If I were him, I would have gone in there just guns a-blazing with that phrase. They're going to do something absurdly stupid to you. And you're going to probably have the ability to sue because it's been shown they have no teeth. And just go in there and just let it rip, dude.
That's the thing about the NCAA that I just don't understand. It's like Tennessee did everything you want institution to do. Is like cooperate, let you do the investigation, and then,
assisted in the investigation.
Yeah, and then
to be fair,
and get rid of everybody. They want you to get rid of everybody, and do all the things. So
I don't think this is entirely true. It's kind of just my hurtful, like I'm very hurt, and being a Tennessee fan for my entire life, and I just like I can feel hurt coming in the dumbest way possible. I feel like somehow the fact that we bought out
Sounds healthy, by the way.
Right. We bought out Philip Fulmer instead of saying he knew he's gone or he should have known he's gone. We bought him out, acted like he did everything he could. He served us well. Thank you for your service. Recruiting is pretty good, huh? I feel like that somehow is going to bite us in the ass. I don't know how. It doesn't logically make sense to me, but that's what that's going to be like their death penalty thing. They paid Phil Fulmer $1.5 million for a buyout. They didn't care. I don't know what it actually was, but they didn't care. They just wanted to get rid of a bad football coach. And to that, I tip my hat to Randy Boyd and Donde Plowman. They saw he was a loser, kicked him to the curb. If you're winning, that stuff is covered up much better. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know really what to make of this at all. I think it's for the reasons you mentioned, like Tennessee followed everything. The NCAA said they don't want to punish current players. So a bowl ban being on the table, which has been reported that's what the NCAA wants, that Tennessee would not agree to, doesn't make sense at all. And there's rumors going around. I think Austin Price has said it to be, said that this is the case, that Tennessee, was it Austin that said this? Tennessee would sue if they were to get a bowl ban, which kind of seems.
I mean, they would fight that for sure.
Fight it, yeah,
and you have to.
Yeah, I would think there are ways to fight it within the NCAA before going straight to lawsuit. Now, imagine it has.
I mean, at the point, like, is it just like appeal? Here's your punishment. Appeal. Here's your punishment. Appeal. Like, is it just like a never-ending cycle until both parties kind of get what they want?
I have no idea what's about to take place.
I mean, I do think it helps that Greg Sankey is there, because I'm sure that he doesn't want a bowl ban, because that is money out of his pocket.
Yeah, no, I think Greg Sankey.
And the thing with the bowl ban, they should have just. I think they thought that they could just do it from the get-go, but Tennessee was actually good from the get-go. So, it wouldn't have mattered if we were winning 3 games. Like I thought. Also, I think everybody thought we might.
To be fair, Jeremy Pruitt's last year, Tennessee opted to not play in a bowl. I feel like we should get that. That should be a spot. We didn't go to Memphis. That's it. Done.
Yep. Also, we got hosed in Nashville too, so done.
Count it. Yeah, that bowl was never played in my mind.
Yeah.
So, no bowl bans. I mean, I would be fine with fining like our gymnastics team. I don't know, fine our gymnastics team like $1 million. Don't allow them to ever compete in the NCAA tournament. I don't feel bad for them at all. Take away every scholarship they have. It's totally fine with me.
Yeah. We don't actually have one, correct?
I hope not. I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm 99% sure.
Yeah, when you said it, I was like,
me.
I get it. Then I'm like, do we have one?
Yeah, no, we don't. But
yeah,
also the person in me that is not confident at all is now questioning my own joke. Find the equestrian team. We do have a rowing team. The sailing team.
We'll just take away
get rid of them all.
Take away the walk-ons. No more walk-ons. Take away their
Dabo
scholarship.
Sweeney applauds that decision.
Which is unreal, because like he's literally, doesn't he have like guys like on his team that are like his sons that are walk-ons? They're probably on scholarship.
You think his sons are on scholarship?
I don't know.
No way.
Venables, isn't his son there too?
Yeah, his son played. I don't know how good he was, but didn't his son play?
Yeah, mate. I mean, he was there.
Herb Street's boys, are they on Scully?
Isn't Bear Bryant's grandson there or something?
Maybe.
Something Tyson, Paul Tyson, does that sound right?
I didn't know Bear Bryant's grandson was playing college football right now.
I mean,
would you tell anybody you were Bear Bryant's grandson if you played college football? I wouldn't tell a soul.
I mean, I guess you'd tell people in like Alabama, right?
Unless it was to get a free meal, I wouldn't just volunteer that information on the practice field.
Yeah, or like out of a ticket or something.
Oh, definitely out of it. Oh, if I got pulled over by Alabama State Trooper, I mean, I would have a sign on the back of my car.
Did you hear how Trey Smith got out of a ticket?
Oh, no. Is this uh-oh.
No, he was telling a story. It was like something that Tennessee posted today. And he was like, yeah, when I was making my decision, he was like, I was going like 70 and like a 55. And I got pulled over by a state trooper. And he said the guy came up to him and he was like, "Oh, you're that Smith kid, right?" And he was like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "Slow down, go Vols," and just walk back to his car.
It's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's probably why the NCAA is trying to hammer us. We got Trey Smith out of a $200 speeding ticket. So
honestly, like if that ever happened to me, like I was like, "Oh, you do more important issues, right?" Go Vols, and walk back to his car, dude. I just quit my job and just do this from now on.
that'll pay the bills right there. That free ticket.
I was like, it was meant to be.
That's that is awesome. I'm glad that Trey Smith didn't have to pay that ticket. Glad he didn't get it. Glad he didn't not show up to court. Glad he didn't then get pulled over one random night on the strip for going, I think, down the wrong way, maybe running a stop sign something, and then end up in jail after calling Jeremy Pruitt, and that being the stupidest shit Jeremy Pruitt's ever seen. That is a hypothetical, but I'm just really glad that didn't happen.
So about the hearing, I just don't understand like what they're wanting in terms of like. Why is this? I mean, you're literally Tennessee did everything you want them to do, and you still didn't like kind of let them off the hook. So I mean, no one is ever going to allow you back on their campus ever again.
See, I think Tennessee was dumb for doing that, and I'm worried that maybe a bit maybe initially it was misguided, because as far as I can remember, I don't know this for sure, all of that occurred before Danny White was the AD. They brought in investigators that were there to assist Tennessee, and they had Tennessee's interest, which I think is good. But help with the NCAA investigation. I hope moving forward Tennessee has learned its lesson, because this has happened before. We've seen people cooperate and still get screwed. Missouri, namely. So yeah, I think
Oklahoma State's another one.
Yeah, and so I think maybe Danny White knows and knew, I hope, and his entire family has been doing this their entire lives. So yeah, I think it's pretty clear not to cooperate with them ever. It's pretty, and one thing I do kind of want to know, is this just is there a chance? And this is where I don't think, again, going back into the Philip Fulmer thing similarly, is this something that the NCAA is just trying to show its teeth, and at the end of the day, they'll fold to Tennessee? Or are they trying to show their teeth in the sense of, we're going to hit you with everything we can? Anything we can get to you, we're getting to you. I
think it is kind of that. I'm hoping, I guess.
You think you think they're snarling, they're not going to bite.
Yeah.
That's your okay. I mean, I think there's a chance, because I mean, those show causes on Niedermeyer and who's the other one that agreed? Felton.
Felton, yeah, Sheldon Felton.
What a wild name. They weren't crazy. I mean, they weren't good show causes, but I think they were like 3 and 4 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, for guys that coached on a 3-win SEC team, they weren't going to be coaching anytime soon. So who cares?
Well, and some of them, like Derek Ansley, is a defensive coordinator for the Chargers, I think.
How mad are they? They're like, this guy didn't even show up.
Oh, yeah. Apparently he was on a Zoom. He showed up.
Oh, okay. So he did show up. Okay.
Yeah. But he doesn't care. It means nothing to him. He's in the NFL making a lot of money being a defensive coordinator, and that's probably the best thing for him, honestly.
And I said this jokingly, but I want it to be clear, I'm not joking. MSB, what's his name? Mohammed bin Salem. If you were looking to invest in college football, if you like what the SEC brings to the table, I will be your biggest supporter if you fund a new football league right now. Tennessee, hear this from me. I have power. I can make this happen. Tennessee will play the NC State opener next year in Saudi Arabia. If you get us out of this right now, just let it be done. We'll bring Alabama with us. We'll bring Kentucky with us. You'll get the racehorse environment. We can maybe get you into that scene. That is a just stupid, obscene amount of money scene. We can get you into that. You can embezzle all you want through that. We can do something for you. I'm so sick of the NCAA, and it's going to happen eventually where there is a breakaway. I don't know exactly how it'll happen because I think to protect money interest, I think it'll take maybe not the entire Power 5, but like Big 10, SEC, Big 12, or ACC. ACC is kind of struggling in terms of their contracts right now and their perceived worth. So maybe Big 12 or like a mixture of Big 12, ACC. So I don't know what that breakaway looks like, but I know it's coming. We'll be assuming we're doing this podcast in 10 years, we'll be talking about it. Yeah,
if the SEC gets any more teams, it might just – that's why I think having Greg Sankey there probably helps tremendously because, he's way more powerful than the NCAA ever thought about being.
Yeah, I think him being there is in the interest of Tennessee, but only because it's in the interest of the conference. I can tell you right now, yeah, Greg Sankey ain't riding for the orange.
No,
he's not. I think it does. Like Danny White seems to kind of be seems to be a good politician, if you will.
Yeah, he's a good mix of understands the fan base and understands the politic aspect of it too.
Yeah, he's the all-American dad. He can drink beers with the boys, but the police show up, he'll answer the door, he'll handle it. So
yeah,
I think he's got it under control in the sense of if anything does go wrong, I think Danny White has a good chance because of the guys he's gotten in his corner. He has a good chance to right the ship, and I hope Phil Fulmer had to fly a commercial there. If he was on any Tennessee private jet, bill him for the gas because I know he used more than he should, and then that jet should have. I hope he's staying.
That's the thing. Are we still paying the NCAA for the investigation?
We're definitely still paying our lawyers, and I'm sure very good money. I hope he's staying in a suburban hotel. If he's in a downtown, is it Louisville hotel? Man,
Cincinnati.
I thought it was Cincinnati. That didn't sound right. All right. Yeah, it's an interesting. It's gonna be when all of this eventually comes out. It'll be a while because, like I said, it's sealed and be a minute before anybody can get their hands on the information being said in that room. It's gonna be really interesting to hear what the NCAA is wanting and their justification for why they should get it.
Yeah, I just think if the NCAA is gonna come in and say we're not trying to punish current players. Well, if you're taking scholarships or I know we mentioned a bowl ban, but that's doing the exact opposite of what you said.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'm also I kind of hit on this.
Fine. That's why that's why we paid $5 to get in the orange and white game. This is what we're paying this fine that the NCAA is just going to give us at the end.
I'm assuming they're trying to lobby for lack of institutional control, and they're probably trying to. The reason Pruitt is fighting this, he's been out for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
He's wanting probably a 2 or 3 year show cause similar to the other two that have gotten it. They're probably trying to slap him with a Donnie Tyndall level. I think he had an 8-year show cause, that type of deal. And that's what he's fighting. And again, I hope it's just the bowl ban with Tennessee like that, which is, I'm glad. I'm not saying we should have agreed to it, but I hope it's nothing like a Donnie Tyndall level show cause type deal.
God, he can't wait to go back to Alabama, can he?
No, and he could go the Donnie Tyndall route and try to find an NAIA job. Wouldn't be a bad deal.
Alabama.
What are they doing? What are they doing in Hoover High? They hire him. Didn't Rush Probst just get a new job? You might need a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, who's that guy that always tweets about Rush Probst every time he gets a new job?
I don't know. Maybe that's probably how I see it.
Is that Dan Harrelson?
Is it Dan Harrelson? It might be. Shout out to Dan. I'm a big Rush Probst fan. Any guy that can coach a high school football team and manage 2 families, hero in my book. Most high school football coaches can't even be there for one family.
It's true.
I'm sorry, that was mean to high school football coaches. Some of you all are great.
So,
Dude, I am a massive fan of the Carter football coach. Followed him today on Twitter. Anytime there is a high school transfer, that dude is all over it, and it cracks me up every time. He doesn't miss. It's funny. It's very entertaining.
what does he say?
Just different stuff. I mean, like today with I don't know if you saw Alcoa got a new one, and he just said, like, don't say anything over and over again. Stay off Twitter over and over again. He said prep extra, pouring the salt on the Southville football with that photo. Hashtag portal picks. There was a player that transferred. I think we saw it.
Yeah.
He's fired off some other ones too. I think when I talked about high school kids announcing transfers, I think I saw it because he retweeted it. Like he quote tweeted it. So yeah, he's a good follow. I think he's
sticking it to the man. I like it.
I think he's gotten into it with some Fulton coaches on Twitter publicly, and I just live for that stuff. I'm glad they don't do it privately. Let me in. Let me see.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is it really even an argument if it's just between two people, if they're the only people that see it?
Yeah. Tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
make a sound. That's a good point, Landon. If you argue with someone, got to be public on Twitter.
Yeah.
Good point.
Baseball. Man.
Baseball. Can we talk about the NCAA more?
Yeah. Man, it's rough. I thought, getting swept by Arkansas, I thought that would, maybe start a fire, but I guess it did the opposite of what you wanted the fire to do to you. It was bad Tuesday. Pitching wasn't good. Offense wasn't good. Defense wasn't great. I've said this over and over. If it's not one thing, it's another. Right. And that seems to be the common occurrence with this team. And then you welcome Vandy, who, you swept last year. They're going to have this one circled. And I know it's become a rivalry, but I just have a hard time seeing Tennessee staying competitive because they haven't been competitive the past two series, really.
Yeah, and it's just frustrating because the improvements you make, it feels like you take two steps back. And it's just – and I mean, a lot of people pointed out that while this year's been really the only disappointing, but a disappointing year so far – and that window's closing. I will stop saying so far eventually. Like at some point, it's just got to be it. And I hope it does turn. I hope we break through that window. But I mean, Tony Vitello prepared everyone for that. This year was going to be tough year. They're gonna have to figure some stuff out. It's just I hope that there would be things figured out, and there's just maybe there were too many things to figure out, and not enough time to address it. I don't know, but it's like. The improvements that they've made have been small, and then the errors that have come have hit a lot of it. And it's just, It's tough. And I mean, I don't want to confuse that. I don't think they're mad or frustrated about it. It shows. Like, I'm not questioning that they want to play better. That's not, I don't know why people think anytime you criticize a team, you assume that they're not fired up, like they're not. But it's just, it doesn't seem that whatever is, they're trying to get going. They're trying to do is happening.
Yeah, and I was talking to a guy at work, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And
water cooler talk.
Yeah, and it was actually in the bathroom. Actually,
peeing, piss dogs.
It was after we washed hands. Just standing around the paper towel dispenser right there.
Oh, wow. Vanderbilt Mortgage uses paper towels still. They hate the environment. You heard it here first. Warren Buffett, not a big fan of the environment.
It is one of the, you just swipe your hand underneath it comes out too. So
doesn't matter, dude. Killing trees.
Pretty nice.
I mean, he left East Tennessee here soon after all the modular homes and paper towels get made.
Yeah, we're doing our part with inflation. So we're out, he was like, "What's going on?" And I just kind of broke it down. I was like, there's an issue at catcher. Your best player, one of your best hitters, again, is having to play catcher because you got you got kind of hosed the past 2 years in catcher. And we've mentioned this on the show, but the West Virginia kid retires from baseball. The Austin P kid goes into the draft. So you just haven't had a really good option at catcher. You know, you lose that whole nucleus of guys, and the leadership seems to be an issue. And there's just you get these transfers in that have come in. I think Zane Denton's done a fine job, but the other two guys have really struggled. And you know, I'm not ragging on these kids. You know, I want them to be good more than anybody. I pay a lot of money to sit in those seats right next to them. So, you know, I want them to play well. And, you know, we do a show strictly for Tennessee baseball. So it definitely helps it out if Tennessee's playing better. So that's an issue. Shortstop is an issue. They can't, you know, if they're getting better play at shortstop, they can't put everything together. Hitting wise is not working. They can't move runners. They don't play small ball. They struggle defensively. I think their pitchers, you know, it's a lot easier to pitch when you know that lead is fine. It's a lot easier to pitch when you know the guys behind you, if they hit one up the middle, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go get it and get you outs. And this team hasn't done it to this point. And I think that's part of the pitching, but pitching hasn't been the issue. Yeah, they leave some balls over the plate that they shouldn't on 0-2 counts and things like that. But last year that didn't matter because
I was going to say that's happened. That's been a thing with every Tennessee team since Vito's been here.
It didn't matter because you knew that lead was protected, or you know, if you give up a 2-run home run, hey, guess what? We got 1 through 9 that can come and change that in an instant.
Right.
So I think a lot of it's confidence. I do think there's talent on this team, but it's been bad the past couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. You don't have to be a baseball guy to watch a game and understand that a lot of the mistakes Tennessee's making. I mean, if that crap just happened to you, like that's tough to overcome, and Tennessee's doing it to themselves, and so it not only hurts you in the game, kills your confidence. It creates a mess that becomes a mental hurdle. And Tennessee certainly needs stuff to start going their way, but they've also got to do a better job of creating opportunities too. And there's a gap there right now. And I hope this is the weekend that gets figured out. I mean, I hope it is. I hope you see a lot of success at the plate. I mean, and I think too, just don't, like, the mental errors are getting frustrating, and they're just, you see them happen. Like I can't remember which one it was, that it was the strikeout throw out, that it was just like that stuff right there can't happen and you feel good about winning ball games.
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine what it feels like to be in the dugout too, to know that mistake happened, definitely avoidable. And now, all right, how do we overcome that? And yeah, I
mean, just like stuff like that is so deflating, like that. And then, the other night you got a leadoff double, the next two guys strike out. I mean, it's just like, we just don't have a lot of those dogs in this lineup that's like, hey, no matter what you throw, you're not throwing it by me.
Yeah.
You had Drew Gilbert and, Jordan Beck and, who else? Even Liam Spence a couple years ago, Max Ferguson. Those guys, like, Jake Rucker, those guys weren't striking out.
Well, I feel like just one thing that this team's missed, and you've seen it in spurts, and it encourages me, and then it just goes away, that even in the strikeouts, that there were times you would see Tennessee batters in the past 2 years that went down early, 0-2, and they would still make the guy throw 8 pitches. They would still just fight in there, and they might strike out at the end of it, but they fought and they made the guy earn it, and that just, it feels like that's lacking. And I'm not, hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things ever, so I'm not, like, I know it's not easy, but again, it's one of those things you put yourself in a hole that's tough to dig out of. That you talked about, that confidence, that when you got either a team behind you, or if you're the pitcher, you know you're throwing good stuff, or this guy just can't see the ball for whatever reason tonight. Like, that confidence feels that way. That same guy, you talk about leadoff double, 2 strikeouts. Next guy up to the plate, if he's been struggling tonight, he just saw 2 guys wave at him. Like, that's tough to overcome. So it's gonna take more than just one guy right now stepping up and flipping momentum to have a shot at getting this entire team to move that direction.
Yeah, and we can't turn double play to save our lives either. That's frustrating to me. But we'll
just
hit
throw into first.
We'll hit into one.
Take the leadoff runner and be done with it. We're not throwing this one in the dugout. Like, we're good.
Yeah, it's going to be tough this weekend. You got a lot of left-handed pitching coming at you. Really good left-handed pitching in Vanderbilt, and then you have one of the best base runners in all of America, and Enrique Bradfield Jr., who, if he gets on base, you might as well just go ahead and give him third, because we can't throw anybody out. I think Tennessee's thrown one person out in SEC play.
Yeah, can we get him pulled over going to the stadium? Get the opposite Trey Smith treatment?
Yeah.
See if we can get him out of this series somehow. Not looking forward to watching him run bases.
I mean, I just want Tim Corbin to check somebody's bat. That means that means you're in the right direction.
But that's another thing. If, like, what we're going to see with Enrique Bradfield, if you can't throw the guy out at second, don't throw it into center field.
Yeah. Yeah,
don't give him third. Make him go at least run to third.
Yeah. I mean, we don't help ourselves out at all.
No. Last week was very frustrating.
Yep. And time's ticking. Like, if they don't get something together soon, I mean, they are in serious hurt of missing the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, though, I mean, we've said it every week. This window is getting tighter and tighter, and now it is.
And the way you're playing right now, I mean, you can probably kiss that goodbye. I mean, Vol Shop, whoever, you don't have to worry about printing those regional shirts, because I mean, that ain't gonna happen.
Doesn't look like that's occurring. It's not gonna be a Knoxville regional.
Nope.
And those have been fun. It's been good environments, postseason baseball here in Knoxville the last few years. So that's really disappointing that they don't get that. And then I know that this year the crowds haven't been great due to a number of things, not just the play. I mean, the weather for the most part has not. Weekends, I feel like weeknights have been the best weather. Am I crazy?
Yeah, I mean that's the way it's been. Yeah, it's been crap.
So many things playing into that, but maybe you get a good crowd, a good rowdy crowd. We talked about doing beer review with Joey Boots there, and I think maybe we just need to do beer review at the whole stadium. Get everybody in on the action. And
I'm going nachos.
Get a little liquored up, baby. For Joey or you?
No, I'm going to do my nachos. I want people to review the nachos. I want people to taste what I'm tasting.
I need a beer review from Joey Boots. That's what I need this weekend. I'll Venmo you on me. No. Actually, I'll Venmo you half. That's an expensive beer.
No.
I already told him what to do. You can't change it now.
No, I'm saying don't Venmo me.
I'm not Venmoing you. I'm Venmoing Joey.
Oh. I'm going to record it.
Joey Bills.
Joey Bills. He's got plenty of money. He's the highest paid actor on the show.
Are we all actors? Is it scripted?
Yeah, 100%.
We need to do it. We need to see what an AI.
We're pretty much the NFL.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna try to do that. Next Thursday, we talked about what show we should do. I think we should do an AI show. Let an AI put together the show. Just see what it says. All right. I don't know how that works. I've not done.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Can that happen?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Somebody to do it? What?
I think doing a long form podcast like this would cost money. I've used ChatGPT just to type in the prompt and it'll write something for you. I've done that. I haven't got anything quality from it. I tried to get it to write some jokes for me for this show.
You're the reason our robot's going to happen.
We're done.
You're giving them too much power.
It's already happened. So
I do have a question about Tennessee baseball. It's the first part of Ethan Cundiff's question. He said, I know this is a must-win series, but do we need to sweep Vandy to get back on track? And why do y'all think our offense has been so up and down? You want to take that one, or do you want me to go?
I mean, I'll let I don't think I have a good answer, so I'll let you.
Do we have to sweep Vanderbilt? No, but I definitely think you need to win the series to get back on track. And you got to play better. You can't just get run ruled, and I think Tennessee needs a nice showing this weekend. Even if I don't necessarily think they have to win the series, but it would be a great start to get back on track if they somehow pulled out a series win against Vanderbilt, because you're at home. It is a rivalry, and I think you'll kind of put a lot of people on notice if you're able to win that. I mean, they're a top 5 team. So I think that helps you in terms of, seeding for the NCAA tournament. And then after that, I mean, you got Georgia, you got Kentucky, you got Mississippi State, who, I think all 3 of those are winnable. But the way you've been playing, especially the last 4 games, I mean, there ain't no way you're winning all 3 of those series. And South Carolina is going to be a tough one at the end. It just doesn't get a whole lot easier. It might get a little easier but Georgia, they jumped on Arkansas tonight. They're up by 3 runs. So, I mean, you can't look at that as a for sure win, because I just don't know what Tennessee team's going to come out there. And in terms of the offense, I don't think they're good enough to just go up there and swing every time. I think there needs to be a little bit of small ball, kind of like Tennessee's team of old before they had the star power that they did. It was moving runners. It was, competitive at bats at the plate, like you were talking about with Liam Spence. And, you had Max Ferguson who could bunt it down the third baseline. I mean, we have so many lefties, they shift to the right side all the time. I mean, if we can just prove that we can bunt it down third base, that fixes a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And we'd get more people on second base, which we wouldn't have so many freaking double plays.
Don't count on that.
God. Yeah, I just think it has been tough, having to replace everybody. I don't think there's any denying that. And I think they're hoping they'd get more from the transfers. Griffin Merritt and Maui have just really struggled, especially in SEC play. So,
yeah, this would be the week to turn around. Like you said, I don't think you need to sweep, but this would be definitely.
But I do think there's talent there, and there's a lot of young talent. I mean, I think Dylan Dreiling and Kavaris Tears, those 2 guys need to be in the lineup. I think they're 2 good of hitters. I don't care if we have 9 left-handed batters. You got to find your best lineup at some point.
Right. Yeah, haven't found it yet. It'd be nice to have a hint of it, right?
And I don't care what hand the pitcher's throwing with. I need Zane Denton on the left-hand side. That's his power side. I need balls hitting into our bullpen.
Over. I want him over.
Yeah,
I want him in
whatever
passenger seat.
Yeah, no, please, God, no.
Just drive Ravens car this weekend. See what happens.
That would probably be even worse, actually. All right, you got any more questions? We do have some more questions.
All right. Let's see. We're running tight here, so I'll skip one, but we'll go or one of them. Do you agree with Aaron Murray that Joe Milton is one of the most talented QBs in the country?
No, is the most talented.
Oh, sorry. Not one of the most. The most. I mean, raw talent. How can you disagree?
Yeah, I mean, I
you
guess
have a
not.
Heisman winner still in college football.
Yeah, that's where I get like Caleb Williams. I would be like, I mean, but yeah, overall, like ability, yeah, probably he's up there. But I guess you could say the same thing for Anthony Richardson. That doesn't always mean anything,
right? Yeah,
I just got to see it. I got to see it.
No, 100%, 100%.
Could be, yes, but I guess from everything like he's shown, like it's not like he's just a brand new starter. From the stars he has, I would say I don't agree. But I love Joe, and I hope he is.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we kind of talked about this last week in terms of everything Hendon Hooker has set up in front of him, or that everything Hendon Hooker did. Like Joe Milton has that path of success in front of him. So I think there's possibility that he could have a similar trajectory. And I think if that happens, mixed with the raw talent, his name will be mentioned with how we just said it at the end of the season.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And he's just such a likable guy from what he's like kind of been through. You know, in terms of losing his starting job, sticking it out with Tennessee, he didn't have to do that. And him finally getting his time, I think is really cool, and I hope it really works out.
Right.
For his sake and also mine.
All right, so I'm sorry, I just researched it. I think I'm going to try. Got a lot to do this weekend, but if I can get some free time, I'm going to try to get our voices cloned and see if we can get an AI podcast at some point.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. I'm ready.
Also, that's kind of scary.
We won't put in me dropping the F-bombs. We don't need that kind of language.
Our
AI podcast.
Which one are we skipping? Are we skipping the second one?
Yeah, well, so I think we've got them all.
Okay. Well, we do have how many points does Chris Lidlam average?
18, baby. No. 20.
20, yeah. Better surrounding cast. He's got to be better, right?
Like that. Absolutely like that. Yeah. Sign me up. That sounds good to me.
20. You heard it here first. If he doesn't, then Caleb's
Well, I'm landing.
I was like, no. All right. Stupidity.
I've got a few here.
Okay.
Rattle them off and then go to bed. I'm tired, man.
Oh, can I mention one thing? I meant to mention with Chris Ledlam. It was really cool how Harvard tweeted about like congrats to Chris Ledlam for committing to Tennessee. I think that's really cool.
Harvard of the South. They've been saying it for years.
I mean, you're not going to see that very often. But I think, these smaller schools like understand.
Well, can you stay for like is he a grad transfer?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you? I don't know if you can stay for I think you're done after 4. I think he had to transfer. So that's probably partially why you're seeing an Ivy League. I don't think you get an extra year in Ivy League.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, it's still really cool.
It is. No, I sorry. I don't want to like disregard. I think it is.
That
cool.
makes
I'm
sense.
just saying that they could. It's not like they could have retained him.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how. I would still wonder how often you see that, even with that rule. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
All right.
stupidity. Stupidity on Harvard.
No.
My first one's me. I need to issue a personal apology to our good friend Austin White, Kentucky fan, known hater, big
Great realtor.
BBN.
Terrible. Yeah, terrible picker of sports teams.
I'll let you decide what BBN stands for in this context. I texted him last Sunday. I just like glanced at it and saw it. And to be fair, 11.7 did tweet. It's not the first thing. It's what happens when you just scroll through Twitter not paying attention. All I read was Kentucky is the real deal this year, confirmed, which I thought that meant they beat LSU and they were up Sunday at one point. So it wasn't like they never were up, but the first part of the tweet was LSU wins the series against Kentucky. So I can't read. I texted him, congratulations. He probably thought I was talking trash at first. And so I do feel bad, and I also feel stupid. And making a dumb guy feel stupid is tough to do, but I did it.
Thought I had another one.
I've got one more. Or I got two more, actually.
Yeah,
one we hit on, so we'll just get into this. I don't know if we need to talk about it anymore, but Dabo and Clemson are currently at 88 scholarships. Limits 85 if you didn't know. And he said he would take away 3 from walk-ons. And he said he didn't care. Be better. Jesus didn't get a scholarship. He had it all ready to go, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. I think Dabo's a disgrace to humanity. He said he's the LeBron James of college football at this point. He said he would quit when players got paid. Now they're getting paid, and the ones that aren't getting paid, he's also going to charge them money. So he's just doing the opposite of things he said. He's the Antichrist as far as I'm concerned, and I think it's pretty despicable. I think Dabo should be ashamed. Whatever church he's a part of probably needs to tell him not to come back. Disassociate themselves with Dabo Swinney. He has sullied the good name of Clemson. I mean, it's insane.
He hasn't been baptized enough, I think is what you're getting at.
Yeah, that water in South Carolina doesn't do it like that.
It
stream, baby.
There's a little bit of pink involved. It's not completely white. After that,
yeah. It is funny to see the trend of which Dabo's always been disliked, but Dabo becomes more and more hated by national people, and Shane Beamer becomes more and more endearing to. So Clemson's going to have a struggle. To be fair, here a problem with Shane Beamer is he gets the people that hate him. He gets they hate you too much treatment, which gets more endearment. Did you see him tweet at one of his players? And he was clearly being sarcastic. One of his players played Augusta Country Club, and that player tagged Shane Beamer in it, and he replied. I'm gonna try to pull up the exact one if I can do it fast enough. I love the fact that I got tagged in this pick, even though I wasn't there. I was hard at work in the office trying to make our program better while you guys were out enjoying the day. Did I get tagged because 1, you missed me, 2, pouring salt in the wound, # hope you shot 100. Like clearly just yanking this guy's chain, just giving him a hard time, just guys being dudes type deal. And think it's corny, but I don't know why people would think he's being an asshole. He's just trying to be funny, and you can argue whether it's funny or not, but
it just seems like Dabo is always trying to keep score. Like even in the off season, he's like, man, how can I one up somebody? How can I?
No, well, he's bad at it.
How can I dude? Let's get TikTok famous. Let's do another ad.
And Shane Beamer's even better at that than him. Shane Beamer's even better at that than him. Listen, Shane Beamer, corny dude. The Office video. I mean, I only hated it because I hate South Carolina and I hate him. But if Josh Heupel did that, I would have retweeted it a million times. I mean, hammered that retweet button. And Dabo's out here making his own TikToks with the dumbest rhymes I've ever heard.
Yeah, and him doing the gritty. Good God.
Yeah, so he should probably stop keeping score.
I got one, and it's our boy Dylan Bloom, who's in town this weekend.
Oh no,
he went live accidentally after we went live last week.
It was a good picture. It was
like 8 seconds, and somebody actually replied to it and said, "Totally just thought the weed guy from the show Tulsa Kings was on the podcast tonight."
The weed guy? That's even better. I haven't seen Tulsa King, but that's awesome. That's he's not on the show because he's celebrating his heritage today.
His heritage.
That's awesome. I didn't know that reply happened. I saw the picture. I didn't realize. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's not on the show on 420. Weed guy from Tulsa Kings.
I've got a last one, and I don't understand the context of it. I don't know if context would make it better. Someone texted Joey McGuire, the coach of Texas Tech, and said 3,000, or he said, how many retweets for you to climb the crane? He said 3,000, and I'm in. Let's go.
Let's go.
And I guess it's gotten over 3,000. So is he gonna do it? Like, why are you? Is that legal? I don't think so. I don't know. Just seems like a really dumb thing to do to first off, put the number 3,000. You're the head football coach of a Power 5 school, and you're going to climb a crane for $3,000? You have way more to live for. If he does it, I think this is going to be some stupid publicity stunt. Does it with safety equipment, no safety equipment. He's got to do it full go, full tilt, no exceptions. If he dies,
Oh, well.
it's what they wanted. Yeah. Be a great story. Brian Kelly would probably somehow be implicated, and that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
How many retweets for you to climb a crane? What's your number?
I'm scared of heights, so it'd be a higher number than that, probably.
Oh, it'd be like 1 million.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I'd do it for 10,000.
That's too low, man. 10,000 people could just want to see you die. There are 10,000 people that are just that mean-spirited out
Yeah,
there.
I probably wouldn't actually do it, but it'd be cool to see 10,000 people retweet it and then I'd not do it.
Honestly, that might be the right move because you would get so many replies back. Every tweet you sent would be a reply back on the crane. That's a good marketing technique. That would just, all right, clip this. Landon, 10,000 retweets. He's climbing the crane. I don't know what crane.
There's 25 of them on Tennessee's campus right now.
Oh, perfect.
So
good deal. Yeah, we'll get Landon up on one of those.
I do want to mention the Tennessee softball team real quick. 35-5. Line it up.
And still just making it rain.
Making it rain. They're 13-2 in conference. They play Florida this weekend. So yeah, gonna be a big weekend. They just coming off a sweep to Kentucky. They won their midweek game against Kennesaw State. So
who they sweep? Who's that? Oh, that's the team Austin cheers for.
BBN.
Does he know that? Yeah, is he aware that they got swept this weekend by the University of Tennessee?
Get the brooms out, baby.
That? I thought about sending that, but it was after I sent the LSU thing that I did by accident, so I couldn't do it on purpose then after.
So, like, they play at weird times. They play, like, Sunday through Monday or Saturday through Monday.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
All right, that's all I got.
Me too. I'm starving. I haven't eaten dinner, and I have no food here, so I'm gonna have to run out. So
where are you going? Cookout, Pals?
Zaxby's. Oh, yeah. Oh, I might do Pals.
Yeah.
No, I'm probably doing Zaxby's. I've been telling myself Zaxby's all night. It's hard to like once I tell myself Zaxby's, I cannot go away from that.
Your mouth's just ready for it. I feel that
for sure, dude. For sure.
You can get the wings and things.
Nah, it's too late. Nah, just gonna go with Big Zach's meal.
Simple.
Yeah. Too much food in the wings and things. Joey just cut us off? No, you do it. You don't.
Did he end it?
Do it. If you do it, commit to it. No,
we're bringing the boat in. We're out. Get out of here, Joe. Get us out of here.